Sorry about that, guys. My phone decided to switch off on me while I was doing the recording, so this would be part 2 of the Raw episode. My phone has a habit of doing that, and it decided to switch off today while I'm doing a recording, so I apologize for that. But where I left off in the first part, we had just started the fourth match in the Intercontinental Contenders Chase, and we were featuring former Intercontinental Champions Christian and The Miz. Now, Christian doesn't have any beef with The Miz, but based on what happened earlier in the evening with Ric Flair, this was a chance for Christian to vent a lot of anger. And despite the challenge that The Miz brought to Christian, Christian overcame, defeating The Miz and joining Kurt Angle, Cody Rhodes, and Axel as one of the contenders for the Intercontinental Championship. We will have the next match on SmackDown. We will have our fifth contender, and then on Monday Night Raw, leading up to Extreme Rules, we will start weeding out the guys who are remaining until we have one guy left to challenge Randy Orton for the championship at Extreme Rules. Following up to that match is match number 5, another tag team match. We have the former champions, the Primetime Players, taking on their first Legends team, with the champions Enzo Amore and Big Cass joining commentary to watch this amazing match. Can the Primetime Players prove to their rivals that even they could take on any Legends team? Almost like what they did at WrestleMania in that open gauntlet match where they put the titles on the line, which eventually led to Enzo Amore and Big Cass defeating the Primetime Players for the titles. And who would be challenging the Primetime Players tonight? None other than the real American Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. Imagine the look on the faces of the Primetime Players seeing who stepped up to challenge them first in this series of tag team matches against legendary teams, the Hulkster and the Ultimate Warrior, two Hall of Famers, legends in their own right, and they came together to take on these guys. Just a heads up, in this universe mode, both Hulk Hogan and Hollywood Hogan will be made use of, because there'll probably be storylines where I feel Hulkamania is better suited for it. In other storylines, I might feel that Hollywood would play a part, maybe with the NWO as well. So I'll see. It'll depend. But in this case, we'll be using Hulkamania teaming up with the Ultimate Warrior against the Primetime Players. No ring rust whatsoever on these legends who haven't competed in a while, but they're back tonight against the former champions, and they really put them to work in this first of maybe a series of matches against legendary tag teams from the past, teams comprised of Hall of Famers like this one, for example. And the Primetime Players had to go an extra mile just to prove to these guys that they belong in the title picture. They belong at the top of the tag team division, much like the tag team champions Enzo and Big Cass, who are watching this match from ringside and offering their thoughts on commentary. They don't believe the Primetime Players could beat these guys. They believe that they're in for more than they bargained for by bringing up this challenge where they have to face, great tag teams that build up the tag team division that WWE has today, teams that inspired, tag teams that we've got today. And despite how courageous it was for the Primetime Players to make this challenge open to all and any legendary team, Enzo and Cass feel that maybe it was premature. They should have waited at least maybe after a while when the Primetime Players have proved that they are the team to beat. And they almost did that against Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior in this back and forth contest, but eventually, in the end, it was a combination of the big splash from the Warrior and the atomic leg drop from the Hulkster that got the win over the Primetime Players. Not the best way to start this challenge for the former champions, and they looked at their rivals, who were more than happy to remind them that, hey, they've got until SmackDown to prepare. This is the tag team champions. Their first match against legends will be on SmackDown, but who will step up to fight these guys? And maybe the tag team champions will prove to the Primetime Players that they could beat a legendary team and have something to brag about on their road to Extreme Rules, where they'll fight each other for the WWE Tag Team Champions in the rematch to WrestleMania. And speaking of rematches and title matches, match number 6 coming up next is the next in the best of 5 series for the United States Championship. This is match number 3 between challenger Stone Cold and the champion Ryback. As you know, Stone Cold is leading in this series 2-0. And this match is a make or break for the champion. Because if he loses this match, he loses the championship. Stone Cold becomes the new champion. But if he can win this match, he at least has some life left in this series. And maybe he can push forward to win the next one and equalize. Now, in preparation for this final match, both competitors were interviewed by Michael Cole during the weekend before this Raw episode. Cole wanted to find out from both these guys, what does this final match mean to them? Especially Ryback, who he's chasing for that one victory, while Stone Cold, he just has one match left and a match left to become US champion. Starting with the champion Ryback, Michael Cole asked him, does he feel any pressure leading into this match, because if he loses the title. What does he feel? And Ryback told him that despite that he's lost the first 2 matches, he's not worried, he's prepared, he's taken these first 2 matches, and even the Iron Man match he had against Austin at WrestleMania, he's taken those matches as experience to get to know Austin, his moveset, his routine, his rhythm, trying to work his own strategy for this third match. So the champ urges his fans not to give up on him yet. He's still got a lot of fight to give, and he will give Austin the fight he deserves in this match number 3. And when Cole sat down with the Texas Rattlesnake, Austin had a different perspective. He uses this series to see if Ryback really deserves to be United States champion. He wants Ryback to prove to him if he deserves this championship and not treat it as, a secondary belt, because the legends who've held the United States championship before, Stone Cold included, they treated this championship with as much value as the WWE championship or the Intercontinental championship or even the tag team titles. So Austin wants to see if Ryback can step up and do the same for the United States championship. Can he show it the same amount of respect that Austin and all the other legends who've held the title, can he show the same amount of respect that they did when they were champion? And if Ryback can't do that, Austin is more than happy to step up and be the United States champion that the title deserves. And he promises to enter this could be the final match with everything he's got and to prove to Ryback that he is the better man. So we come down to tonight, match number 3 in this amazing series. Both men came in strong with everything on the line in what could be the final match for the United States Championship. Ryback, having realized that Stone Cold has conditioned his own moves to follow Ryback's moves so as to anticipate and counter whatever Ryback might bring into the match, he decided to switch things up a little add in some new moves, change a few things that Austin has not seen Ryback use in any of the matches they've had so far in this series, and which caused him to, backtrack, trying to, re-strategize, and that's when Ryback took advantage of Austin using that backtrack as a weakness for the Rattlesnake, thereby countering whatever Austin had left, hitting the shell shock, getting that massive win to make it 2-1 in favor of the champion Ryback. Now, Austin hadn't slacked by any means, despite that he was in the lead in this series. He was ready, he brought in everything he could, but he did not anticipate Ryback having wisened up and, anticipated Austin going back to using his moves, his routines, to anticipate Ryback's, not knowing that Ryback could switch up things, change his routine, bring in new moves, and catch Austin off guard. So it is 2-1 now in favor of Ryback, and they will be able to move on to match number 4, which will be on SmackDown. Can Ryback ride the momentum from this win into SmackDown and capture another win and have them move forward to Extreme Rules, where they'll have the final match in this best of 5 series? We'll find that out on SmackDown. And now it is time for our main event, that Evolution X Challenge Gauntlet match for Brock Lesnar. If he can defeat DX in this match, he gets to keep his title shot, but if DX defeats him, they get the title shot, and they will decide amongst themselves who will step up as the challenger for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, excluding Triple H, who just had his match last week, and the Intercontinental Champion Randy Orton, who will be in action at Extreme Rules defending that Intercontinental Championship. I did mention that I would explain the rules for this special gauntlet match because I think it's a little different from the standard gauntlet match that people know. Now in this one, let's say for example, the first guy coming out, it's a 4-man gauntlet match, 4 guys. The first guy comes out. If Lesnar defeats that guy, he goes away, the next guy comes in, right? But if that first guy defeats Lesnar, guy number 2 comes in and it becomes a 2-on-1 handicap match. You get it now. And if they beat Lesnar, number 3 comes in, it becomes 3-on-1. Number 4 comes in. If the 3 guys defeated Lesnar, number 4 comes in, and then it becomes 4-on-1. But if it's 2-on-1, right, and Lesnar defeats those guys, those first 2 guys, they're eliminated. And when guy number 3 comes in, it's back to singles action. Those are the rules for this special gauntlet match. I hope they made sense. I tried to come up with them by the fly, so to speak. It just came to me when I was creating this episode, the storyline for this episode, and I thought, okay, it's a little different from the standard gauntlet match, but it might work. So let's give it a try. So first up for DX, out comes the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And because in this match there are no countouts, there's no disqualification, he took advantage of that and did all he could to wear out the Beast Incarnate, aiming to get that win, bring in the second guy to make it a 2-on-1 handicap match. But Lesnar would be having none of that. He fought back against the Heartbreak Kid, laying him out with an F5 after a hard-fought battle, taking him out and bringing in guy number 2, Randy Orton. The Intercontinental Champion, he's coming into this match fresh, taking advantage of Lesnar, who's just had a really hard fight against the Heartbreak Kid, and in no time, Randy Orton takes advantage of Lesnar's fatigue, hitting him with the RKO right after he comes into the match, getting the 1-2-3, and bringing in guy number 3, Batista. But before Batista can get to the ring, he's attacked from the crowd by Christian. Captain Charisma blindsides the animal by the entrance area, which acts as a distraction for the Viper, because in the ring right behind him, from the crowd as well, the Rated R Superstar Edge slid into the ring and waits for him. And as soon as he turns around, spear, dropping the Intercontinental Champion, and Edge makes his way out of the ring to help his tag team partner against Batista. And at this time as well, Brock Lesnar, he's just getting up after being hit with that RKO a couple of moments earlier. He's wondering what's going on, but he doesn't wait for long because Orton is down. Thanks to Edge, Brock Lesnar goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and Randy Orton and Batista have been eliminated thanks to Edge and Christian. Only one guy left now, and we all know the game. Triple H, his song hits just as Edge reaches Christian and Batista fighting by the entrance ramp, and out comes Ric Flair instead. Where's the game? The game comes from the crowd. He's behind Lesnar with a sledgehammer in hand. It doesn't take Brock Lesnar time to figure out what's going on here. He turns around, anticipates Triple H about to hit him with the sledgehammer, ducks, goes to the ropes, spear onto the game, bring him down, but he's not done there. He locks in the Kimura lock, right? Kimura lock on the game, a submission move that Triple H is all too familiar with. And with Edge and Christian keeping Batista and Ric Flair busy by the entrance stage, the game can't focus on his pals. He's stuck in this hold right in the middle of the ring. Doesn't have anywhere to go. He wasn't expecting to get locked into it again. No choice but to tap out to the Kimura lock. Brock Lesnar gets the win. He keeps his title shot. Now remember, folks, Edge and Christian were not here to help Brock Lesnar in any way. They've got their own agenda with DX, and this was the chance they found to take care of them where they were vulnerable the most. They made sure to take care of the New Age Outlaws backstage before they got into the crowd for this match, so they were nowhere near the arena by the time Batista, Ric Flair, and Triple H were out. HBK, Randy Orton taken out, and Brock Lesnar got the win. And just as he was celebrating, out comes the champion, Dolph Ziggler, to congratulate Brock Lesnar on his win, and he'll be looking forward to facing him one-on-one at Extreme. Hold on. Ziggler doesn't get his chance to finish because out comes Mr. Money in the Bank, Hideo Itami, to make an important announcement. He raises the briefcase and lets everybody know that he will be cashing in his briefcase at Extreme Rules to make that championship match a triple threat. Ziggler can't believe it. Lesnar can't believe it. The fans, they're more than excited. They're ready to finally see him in action. He's cashing in his briefcase. He's letting them know that it will be at Extreme Rules. He will be in that championship match. 3-way for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, as you guys remember, Hideo was attacked last week on Raw by Brock Lesnar on his way to the ring. And this past SmackDown, Lesnar, Ziggler, and Hideo teamed up against Triple H and the New Age Outlaws in the main event. But Brock Lesnar, he couldn't keep his cool. He lost it, and he cost his teammates the win, giving DX a DQ win. He took out the champion with the F5, only to be caught by Mr. Money in the Bank with the GTS. More or less as payback for the attack on Raw, and out he comes tonight to make the biggest statement of the evening, cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase at Extreme Rules to include himself in that championship match. I don't know if this was a smart move for Hideo. He could have waited for either Ziggler or Brock Lesnar to come out of that championship match as champion and then cash in. But here he is. He's making it known when he'll cash in. He's going to be in that match. Probably he feels that confident that he might walk out as champion, and we'll find out at Extreme Rules next week. And this ends our first episode of Raw this week. Well, this is second week Raw, episode 4 of our audio universe mode. Again, I do apologize for splitting it into 2 parts. My phone switched off while I was recording the first part, so this is part 2. I'm hoping to upload both parts one time tonight, and then tomorrow I'll upload SmackDown. No, not SmackDown. NXT, sorry. Then SmackDown. And next week we'll move on to week 3 on our road to the NXT special and our first pay-per-view, Extreme Rules. So again, thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've been enjoying the series so far and are looking forward to episode 5, which will be NXT. Remember, our main event for NXT from last week, it'll be NXT champion John Morrison versus Y2J Chris Jericho. If Chris Jericho beats John Morrison, he will be #1 contender for the NXT championship. But special guest referee for this match will be our general manager, Theodore Long. We'll be keeping his eye out for the Brian Kendrick and Tyler Breeze based on what happened on NXT. Be sure to go back and listen to that just to remind you what happened, what went down in that main event on NXT. So thanks again. I will review Raw in the next episode, NXT, and maybe I'll talk about Slammiversary, the TNA pay-per-view that happened during the weekend. I'm hoping to watch that and Raw tonight, and then I'll review everything in the next episode on NXT. And I'm also thinking that maybe I'll move my series to SoundCloud. This is because of, it takes a while to upload these episodes, especially if they're lengthy episodes. It'll take a while to upload them on YouTube, mainly because of the internet package that I'm using. So I'll see if it takes a lot less to upload onto SoundCloud, because when I record them, they are saved as WAV files or WAV, W-A-V, right? Then I have to convert to WMV for YouTube. But if I can upload as they are, like right after recording, then upload, if it takes a lot less, if I'm able to do that on SoundCloud, then I'll move to SoundCloud, and maybe on YouTube I'll just record a little heads up for you guys with the link to SoundCloud where you guys can listen to the episodes from now on. I'll find out. I'll just experiment tonight and see how far. But if it doesn't work out, I'll stick to YouTube, and we'll see. We'll see. But that's what I've got for you guys right now. So bear with me, and thank you again. I'll see you on NXT. Thanks.